Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over the Orioles game that just ended about an hour ago. I was watching the Chiefs and Chargers game. Wanted to finish that game up before we started recording this episode. Obviously, football's back. It's very exciting. Obviously, watched the game yesterday with the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then today, Chiefs-Chargers. NFL football is really back. It's pretty surreal to see, and the Ravens obviously play on Sunday. Less than 48 hours from now, the Ravens will be taking the field against the Buffalo Bills in Week 1. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's this close, and it already is starting to feel like NFL season. You got fantasy football going on. You've got, NFL games going on. You got NFL Twitter going on. All that stuff going on. So it's really cool for NFL to be back. Obviously, the Ravens game is this Sunday. And we'll be talking about the Ravens more later on in this episode. We're going to be giving the final updates regarding the Ravens. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over a game preview, but today we have the final updates from the final practice before the game. So that'll be very exciting. We're going to cover that at the end of the episode. But the first thing that we're going to be talking about in this video, or in this episode, is the Orioles walk-off win over the Los Angeles Dodgers. This was the start of a 3-game series against the Dodgers, obviously today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And we're playing the Dodgers in Baltimore. The Dodgers are in Baltimore. And Shohei Ohtani was actually starting for the Dodgers today. And it was a very low-scoring game. I mean, it still was a low-scoring game. It was a 2-1 walk-off win for the Orioles, thanks to Samuel Basallo's walk-off home run, his first walk-off of his career, his first walk-off home run, and also, more importantly, his first home run in Baltimore. His first Camden Yards home run ended up being a walk-off homer against the defending World Series champions. It doesn't get much better than that. It really does not get much better than that. What a moment for the Orioles, and especially what a moment for Samuel Basallo. Just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. Obviously hit his first home run in the series in San Francisco, and then gets his second career home run, his first home run in Baltimore, and it's a walk-off of Tanner Scott, one of the more decorated and one of the more better, closing pitchers in baseball. He hasn't really had necessarily a great year this year, but he was actually somebody that I wanted the Orioles to potentially target at the trade deadline last year. So Tanner Scott, he's an incredible player. Again, he hasn't had as good of a year, but he's still a decorated closing and relief pitcher. And Samuel Basallo walks off the Dodgers in Game 1 of the series at home in the Baltimore night for his first home run in Baltimore, his first home run in Camden Yards, also his first walk-off. It was an incredible moment. It was an absolutely incredible moment. He hit it on an 0-2 count, and it was went deep center, 433 feet, a no-doubt bomb. And the way that the fans obviously reacted, the fans were going crazy. Shout out to Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald. They were going crazy on the broadcast, and the players as well, meeting him at home plate. It was a huge celebration. It was a huge moment. And it was such a cool moment as well. I would argue that this might have been the best Orioles moment all season long. Because obviously, again, you look at this Orioles team, and it also has to do with who they were playing. The Orioles were playing the defending World Series champion and widely considered the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Orioles walked them off. But not only did the Orioles walk them off, the kid who signed an 8-year extension just a couple of weeks ago after his second game in the big leagues, the number 1 prospect for the Baltimore Orioles, the future, the kid himself, Samuel Basallo, hits a walk-off nuke off of Tanner Scott to win this game for the Orioles. An absolute cinema moment, an absolute just amazing moment. A moment that I think a lot of Orioles fans are going to hold on to that for a long time, especially if Samuel Basallo turns out to be the player that we're all expecting him to be. This moment for him was absolutely incredible and one of the better and biggest highlights of the season for the Orioles. And I could not be more happier for Samuel Basallo. The moment, he was so unbelievably happy, and to see his teammates, to see Gunnar, to see Jackson, to see Adley, to see everybody just congratulating him, and obviously just all the stuff going on, the extension, all that stuff, the amount of pressure as well that's been put on this kid's shoulders, and for him to deliver in clutch time in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs, Samuel Basallo wins it for the Orioles. So let's just go over this game. So going over this game, obviously there's not too much to go over in terms of like the scoring and the pitching because for the most part it was literally a very low scoring game. It was a 2-1 win for the Orioles. The Dodgers only scored 1 run. The Orioles again only scored 2 runs, but it was enough. Samuel Basallo walk-off home run to put the Orioles past the Dodgers. An incredible moment as well. But it was a low scoring game. It was a pitching duel for most of the game, not necessarily by two like ace pitchers, but it kind of was just an overall pitching duel. Just in general, like the bullpens for both teams were very, were out. Like Dean Kramer got injured. He had to get taken out the game due to forearm discomfort, so we don't really know what the future for Dean Kramer looks like for the rest of the season. But Dean Kramer did have to get pulled early in this game. So he got through 3 innings of work, but he was, pretty much perfect through those 3 innings. He let up 0 hits, 1 walk, 0 runs, and had 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. So Dean Kramer was off to an amazing start in this game. He had to get pulled. Dentrich Ends comes into the game. He gives up the home run. It was the solo home run by Freddie Freeman, and it ended up being the only run that the Dodgers scored. Cade Stroud came in, Grant Wolfram came in, Rico Garcia came in, and Yennier Cano came in, and they all held it down between those 4 guys. All of them gave up 0 runs, and again, the Orioles pitching staff in general only gave up 1 run, and it was a solo homer to Freddie Freeman that Dentrich Ends gave up. So shout out to the bullpen in this game for stepping up when Dean Kramer got out. Yennier Cano has got the win in this game. He's 3-6 on the year in recorded wins. Yennier Cano did his thing again. A 2-1 win. It was close the entire game. Every single hit mattered so much. But obviously, at the end of the game, Basallo was the one to put the nail in the coffin and get the Orioles the win. Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers only got through 3.2 innings. He got worked in those innings, those 70 pitches across 3.2 innings. They are still trying to limit him because, again, he is Shohei Ohtani, and, obviously his bat is very valuable as well. But when it comes to the total hits in this game, the Dodgers and the Orioles both had 5 hits. And that's why the Samuel Basallo home run is even more impressive because both teams were extremely similar in every single category, but the Basallo home run was the thing to just put them over the edge and get the Orioles the win. So going over the offense, again, 5 total hits for the Orioles, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers were 0 for 5, so both teams struggled in that category. Jackson Holliday went 0 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored. Jeremiah Jackson went 1 for 4. He just continues to hit the ball. Gunnar Henderson goes 0 for 3 with a walk. Ryan Mountcastle goes 1 for 4. Colton Cowser goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Not a great game from him. Emmanuel Rivera goes 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Dylan Beavers goes 0 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And then Samuel Basallo, the man of the hour, the man of the game. How could he not be? The walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th inning, he goes 1 for 4, but that one hit was the solo home run to give the Orioles the win. And I'll keep saying it over and over again because, guys, at the end of the day, Samuel Basallo is the player that we are watching really the most as the season goes on. Basallo, Beavers, Jeremiah Jackson, and then obviously watching the development of guys like Kobe Mayo and Jackson Holliday and guys like that. But Basallo has his moment, has his first real incredible moment, and it was just so cool to see, and I was jumping up and down. It was a great moment. So shout out to Samuel Basallo. Kobe Mayo goes 1 for 3 in this game. He gets a hit. And then Luis Vasquez played third. Kobe Mayo got taken out. Jorge Mateo came back, which he actually just came back from his rehab starts, and then Luis Vasquez, or his rehab assignments, and then Luis Vasquez came in and didn't get a bat. So those were all the guys that got at bats in this game. Shout out to the offense. Obviously, they only scored 2 runs, but again, Samuel Basallo was the guy to get the job done for Baltimore. And we already went over the pitching. The bullpen was amazing. Dean Kramer had to get taken out the game early because of an injury, but the bullpen did come in and hold it down. And the Dodgers pitching played very well as well, but Tanner Scott ended up getting the loss, let up the home run, and the Orioles got the win. A big 2-1 win. The Orioles have now won 4 in a row. They swept the Dodgers in their last series. They had a day off yesterday. They swept they swept the Padres, and then they're already up 1-0 in this series against the Dodgers. If they win tomorrow, they win the series. If they lose tomorrow, the series is tied 1-1 heading into the rubber match game. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, tomorrow's game against the Dodgers might be one of the best Orioles games of the year. And to be honest with you, one of the better I would expect this game to maybe be the best game for tomorrow, just in terms of pitching matchups. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers, as you know, it has been there's not even really words to describe how good Trevor Rogers has been this year. 8-2 record, a 1.39 ERA in 90 pitches or 90 innings, a .82 WHIP. He's been untouchable this year. He's heading into, I think, his 15th start of the season, if I'm correct. He's heading into his 15th start of the year. He's probably going to have, he still has a few more starts left in this season. Obviously, we are counting down the days in the games until this season is over, because we are almost done with the season. The Orioles record as it stands right now is 65-76. They are 11 games below 500, but they have won 4 games against West Coast teams, 4 games straight, mind you. Sweep against the Padres and the win today against the Dodgers. And then hopefully the Orioles tomorrow, they do have a tough opponent, pitching for the Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has been one of the better pitchers in baseball, 167 strikeouts in 146 innings, a 2.82 ERA. He's having an incredible year, but Trevor Rogers is also having an incredible season. So it should be a great pitching duel tomorrow, and hopefully the Orioles can come up on top and also get a series win with a win tomorrow. But switching up sports here, and this is the last thing that we're going to be going over in this episode, because we do have a big episode tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode is going to be the official game preview for the game, obviously on Sunday. By the time we do the episode tomorrow, the game will be the next day. So we're going to do the game preview, the final game preview tomorrow, the final episode before the game on Sunday, and then obviously on Sunday night, late Sunday night, because the game is going to be ending probably at around like 10:30 or so, because it is a Sunday night football game. So we're going to have an episode up late Sunday night after the game ends against Buffalo that we're going to be going over. But tomorrow's episode will be the final episode before the game. But we do have some reports on the injury report. We have the official injury report for Week 1 against the Bills. The Bills released their injury report. I think they have Tyler Bass on IR, so they do have Matt Prater They do have Matt Prater kicking for them tomorrow for the Bills. And then I think they have Tre'Davious White is doubtful in that game. But Tre'Davious White, he was on the Ravens last year. He was a bum. He didn't really do much. But going over the official injury report for Week 1 against the Bills, and it's still, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, it still is so crazy to see like an official injury report, for this game. Because it really just does put into perspective like how close we actually are to the season. I mean, it's right around the corner. The season's right around the corner. But when we go over the injury report, we got 4 guys here to talk about on the report. The first one being Jair Alexander. We talked about last week how he wasn't at a Ravens practice since I think August 9th, but he came back 2 days ago at practice. He was limited on Wednesday, but yesterday he had a full practice, and then today he also had a full practice, and his game status is going to be available for Sunday's game. So Jair Alexander is officially going to be available and active against the Bills, which is great news. Daniel Falele, obviously the starting right guard for the Ravens. He was limited on Wednesday, but he had a full practice yesterday and today. So Daniel Falele will be officially playing on Sunday as well. But we do have 2 pretty important players that are going to be out. Obviously, this Ravens team has a ton of depth and a ton of star-studded talent. So a couple, the first one is Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is going to be out of this game, which is what we thought. He was actually on the side of the field running routes and doing little drills on the side of the field today. So that is very good. That's good to hear that he is out there on the. He didn't practice, but he is on the field doing stuff on the side. So Isaiah Likely hopefully will be back over the next few weeks. People are saying potentially week 3 or week 4 is probably most likely when he's going to be returning. And John Harbaugh also said he's ahead of schedule, so we'll see where Isaiah Likely stands here in the next couple of weeks. But he is not going to be playing in the game against Buffalo, and we knew that. This isn't some unexpected thing. The Ravens know that, Lamar knows that, the offense knows that, Todd Monken knows that, John Harbaugh knows that. Like, everybody knows that Isaiah Likely is not going to be playing, so they, did all their game plans and schemes for this week and also throughout most of training camp with the, idea that Isaiah Likely is not going to be playing. So Charlie Kolar is going to be playing a big role as that second tight end, and obviously Mark Andrews officially now gets his official revenge game against the Bills. Everybody knows what happened against the Bills last year, the fumble and the drop in the fourth quarter for Mark Andrews. A big reason why the Ravens did lose this game against the Bills and get sent home against the Bills last year in the playoffs. And Mark Andrews has a chance now to be obviously he's going to be the premier tight end in this game. He's going to be the tight end one in this game. There's not going to be an Isaiah Likely splitting targets with him. So Mark Andrews is going to have the opportunity to really avenge that game that happened against Buffalo. And he really is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder, and he really is going to be playing with vengeance in his mind. So hopefully Mark Andrews can have that moment, a game-winning touchdown for Mark Andrews after everything that happened in the playoffs last year. For him to go out there and potentially, make a big difference in this game, it's going to be really cool to watch, and I know that Mark Andrews is going to be up for the task, and I know that Mark Andrews is going to be ready to go. Because he's got blood on his mind, man. He's got blood on his mind. And when I say that, I mean, like, he, obviously wants to beat the Bills. He wants to make an impact. And he's going to have that opportunity, too, with Isaiah Likely out. But also Patrick Ricard, who's somebody who I think didn't practice since, like, August 14th. He is going to be out of this game with a calf injury. Pat Ricard is the fullback. We use him pretty much as just an extra offensive lineman. He has been incredible over the years for the Ravens. He's been a very, very, very big help. Someone who doesn't really show up on the stat sheet, but someone who makes an incredible impact for this team. And Pat Ricard is going to be out of this game. So that is going to be a big loss as well. The protection for Lamar is going to have to be even better with no Patrick Ricard being that offensive lineman or being that extra offensive lineman. So hopefully Daniel Falele, Roger Rosengard, Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, and Andrew Voorhees and those guys can do their job, protect Lamar, and make sure we're in the best condition to win this game on Sunday. And then obviously tomorrow we're going to be doing the final episode until the game on Sunday. We're going to be doing a game preview, just talking about the games, probably bring up the injury reports again, and just talking about what we want to see and what I want to see in the game tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow up on Spotify, make sure to like the video on YouTube as well, and also make sure to click the link in the bio of whatever platform that you're listening on, and make sure to follow the socials, follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter, make sure to give those a follow. It's very, very fun over there. And a great win for the Ravens. A great win for the Orioles. A walk-off win for the Orioles. Samuel Basallo hits a walk-off win. His first home run in Camden Yards, his first walk-off of his career. An absolute moment for Samuel Basallo. It was incredible to watch, one of the best Orioles moments of the season. And the Orioles get a win, and they've also won 4 in a row. And then obviously we went over some Ravens updates as well, just kind of talking about some injury updates heading into the game on Sunday. Again, tomorrow I will have an episode up talking about the Orioles game tomorrow and also the game preview for Sunday's game. So tomorrow's episode is going to be jam-packed. We got the game preview. We got the Orioles game. Trevor Rogers versus Yamamoto, going to be a great matchup, and it's going to be very exciting, so I hope to see you guys there tomorrow. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You have a great sales day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.